This could be huge. Manages to find them. G'day, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to OCN, where we are a rowdy bunch. We're having a lot of fun here for the final play day of the season for stage number 1. 3 matches completed, 1 still to be played out, but precursor, unfortunately, doesn't really mean too much, but there are little tidbits, guys, little bits here and there that we can scrape and try and find some meaning to. Of course, for Rhythm, looking to find their first regular, I don't even know how to say it anymore. It's confusing. Regulation, that's the one. I don't know why I don't just say that. First regulation win of the season. They've had a couple of overtime wins and a couple of overtime losses. Regulation win. As for their opponents, LFO, it's just about finishing off the season on a good note.
Yeah, in terms of stage standings, prize pool, all the fat numbers, everything's locked in. There's a 4-point gap between Rhythm and LFO, meaning that neither can... LFO can't catch up to Rhythm, for example. So, unfortunately, no storyline there. But I think the big thing is really Rhythm looking to just prove the point that they can actually win a game in regulation. And I don't know how far back we would need to go to find that stat, but you'd probably have to dig pretty deep.
Probably do. LFO versus Rhythm coming up. Final match for OCN, Playday number 7. Again, yeah, to reiterate, nothing that Rhythm can do to, of course, push forward. In fact, nothing that even LFO can do. So for LFO, it's not even like they can get off the bottom of the standings. Although there is one thing they could do. With a win, they would have a better round differential than Wildcard. Not that they would actually do anything in terms of the standings, guys, but I guess it's something that they don't come last in.
Oh, jeez, that's a bit rough. In fact, I don't know exactly what the scoreline would need to be for LFO to achieve that. Heading into today, like a 6-round difference. I don't know. I don't want to get too deep into the math. Let's just look at the lineups. The same boys being brought to the table here for LFO, and it has been a pretty disappointing year for this team. LFO, when they hopped into competitive play last year, they were the hot kids on the block. They took down Wildcard. They were huge. They were popping off left, right, and center, having really strong performances. But unfortunately, in recent history, it just hasn't been the same.
No, it hasn't. It's been a disaster of a season for LFO. Just trying to actually find where their sole win has actually come from. Wow. Okay. I mean, and that was back in Playday 4, right? So when they would have won that, you would have actually felt like maybe there's a chance they could get their season back on track. Lo and behold, didn't happen. It's hard to sort of envision sort of the future here for LFO. Do you stay as a core 5 based on the season that you've had? Is there going to be roster shuffles? All these sorts of questions, of course. You know, we had Sogs who's departed the team. So a lot of questions for LFO going into the mini off-season before Stage 2. We'll see if we get good answers or bad answers in Stage 2. For now, though, their opponent, it is going to be Rhythm, who, despite the fact that they're going to miss playoffs, guys, I feel like a win here, and it actually hasn't been that bad of a stage.
Yeah, not really. I don't think the expectation for this team would have been huge heading into this season. They were invited after the position was freed up by good old Meloncat, and they've had a couple of decent performances, a few wins in OT, which is always good to see. They've also had a loss in OT against Bliss, which would not have been rewarded with any points previous years, but was this year. So they've just been scraping through, collecting points here and there. The real goal for them, though, is to try and get a win in regulation, which would, again, not impact anything in terms of the standings or prize pool, yada, 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 but it would be a nice little mental boost for them.
I think the big thing for Rhythm, and in a way, something that's been a strength of theirs this season has turned into their downfall, has been that they've won 3 overtime games. That's, though, a lot of points that they've left on the board. In fact, 3 points, right? So even if they had have got a couple of those points go their way, then there's a chance that they would have actually been able to win this game in regulation and still get into the playoffs. So look, it is what it is. You know, you win some, you lose some. For the most part, as I said, I think Rhythm would be pretty happy with this stage. They can build off it and have a good stage 2. Let's see where we're going to be playing out, though, for our final game of the night. I'm really hoping it's Chalet.
Please don't be Oregon.
Please, Chalet. It's Oregon.
It's Oregon.
I'm happy with Oregon. I like it. Chalet was so close. Unfortunately, it means we don't get Chalet at all in the regular season, but I would be surprised if we don't see it at some point in the playoffs, considering we move to the best of 3.
Yeah, the only way I don't see it getting played in playoffs is if teams insta-ban it in every veto, but I don't see that being very likely. We're not seeing teams insta-ban it very often in the best of one format. Trying to think if that would transfer across the best of three, difficult to judge, but who knows? We don't have to wait long until we see that, right? It's literally this weekend coming, so sit tight for that. Yeah, we can rag on Rhythm a little bit for not picking it here in regular season, but maybe that's just something they'll keep in the bank for stage number 2.
Now, of course, before we get into the game, I do want to do a big shout out. Never mind, I'm not going to do the big shout out. We're going to just go straight into the game for our final game of the night. Rhythm going up against LFO, of course, as we've mentioned. Rhythm looking for their first regulation win of the season. And for LFO looking to finish off on a good note. Before we do get into the bands, I do want to mention, right, like, we have, of course, got Living On as a sponsor. They've been an amazing part of OCN. I do want to give them a big shout out. Of course, I was supposed to do that. That's my fault. They have been amazing to have on, not only last season, but now for this season. If you don't know about Living, they're a mental health organization dedicated to breaking the stigma around mental health. And a big shout out to them for coming on board once again. You can support them by following their social media, wearing their merchandise. And of course, for the viewers in chat, you can use the promo code OCN15 at their checkout to receive 15% off their lovely attire. So I know we missed the ban phase there, guys, but I do, of course, want to give them a big shout out.
Look, I'm not going to be talking about the ban phase. It's, you know what, Xenox? It's not your fault. There is one person on this production that didn't give you the opportunity to do the shout out, and that is DEFUSER. Oh. The man accidentally started the lobby. What is he doing? He's just too excited. He wants to jump into the playoffs, and no one can blame him for that, but that's all right. He's a noob on the sticks, and it wouldn't be the first time he's thrown in a siege lobby, so we'll forgive him. Quick look at the Snap Fitness community vote, though. Rhythm edging out 67 to 33, and again, I'd say the community has done a pretty good job in scoping this game out.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. 67 to 33. Rhythm expected victors here. It's got to be a little bit disheartening. I saw Ghoul in chat earlier when I was watching in our break. Of course, there's the delay and everything, and you would have expected them sort of to be watching the match and rooting for order, and the heartbreak that in the end they come into this game. There's nothing that, of course, they can realistically play for other than just their own set expectations of being able to finish the season off well, which is what I would imagine that they would have set, right? It's like, all right, boys, yes, we can't make playoffs, but let's go in, let's play well, let's finish the season strong, let's act as if, you know, we got to win this game. And then you end up with 10 points on the season and you kind of just miss out on playoffs. That's fine. You go to stage 2 and build off that.
100%. You have nothing to lose, really, in this stage if you want to play hard and just give yourself a nice little mental boost heading into stage 2. It's important to remember that despite this matchup on its own not directly impacting the standings in terms of relegations and whatnot, I'm sure we'll talk about that more later in the year, you still want to build upon that momentum and improve as the year progresses. If you consistently finish in the bottom 2, you'll probably be at a real risk of being in relegations, and Rhythm doesn't want to be in that position. They've already been there. The only reason they're back in is because they were invited off the back of the disband. So I'm sure that they'll want to avoid that, and building upon their stage 1 results will help in that.
So Oregon to end the season, I think it's fitting in a way, guys. Of course, it's been sort of the map of the season. We actually started with Oregon. It was the very first map we had for OCN, stage 1, and it's going to be the last one. There was a brief period where we didn't really see it as often. What it also means, well, actually, no, it doesn't matter. Clubhouse is still going to be the most played for the season. So Oregon, second most played 8 times. Everything else not even really close to these 2 maps. But Novaic is going to get the opening pick onto Hills. Rhythm with an advantage, although short-lived. Jigsaw, who's had a pretty good season and had some standout moments, I think even an MVP one week, gets the kill onto Drex.
Minute to go in this round, and decent progression from the attack. Surya Gate in the face of Nova will be cleared by a smoke grenade. That's one less for the execute. Does have 2 Salmas left and uses one on the pit wall. Might be a pronged approach here towards that position, and Ghoul can help assist. Transfer that control into the cross and maybe try and get that plant down inside of games.
30 seconds remaining in the round. them on the attack, looking to get off to a good start here to close out their season. Sushi fires the wall, unsuccessful. DEFUSER is low, doesn't want to swing out too quickly here, needs to back up. Jigsaw just goes snap. 1-2, double headshot in quick succession, and Rhythm's advantage has evaporated as Wettables picks up DEFUSER and goal. LFO take out the first round here on Oregon.
Cheeky round there from Wet, who, correct me if I'm wrong again, is stepping in for Sogs, who recently departed from the roster. So, nice showing from him. Again, looking to build some confidence and momentum for stage number 2. Pretty big shoes to fill as well. Sogs was a very competent player. So, obviously sad to see him go, at least for now. And, of course, we wish him all the best. And we wish Wettables all the best as he jumps into the world of competitive Siege.
I think for LFO as well, I know we've spoken a lot about Rhythm and their way of ending the season, but for LFO, when you have a rough season the way that they've had, to finish off in a strong position, or at least in a strong manner of, like, say, getting a nice win against Rhythm, can just build the confidence for the next season. They might make some shuffles. I don't know what's actually happening behind the scenes. They might stay with the same core 5 that they've got here in this game, which, if that's the case, then getting a win here definitely means a whole lot more. But that's really the thing, right? You miss playoffs in some way. You gotta shuffle. You gotta move some pieces around.
This will surprise them.
5 seconds left.
Well, we have some expert analysis from our observer, DevMarta. He's just done an at everyone ping in the caster Discord saying ranked in 6 rounds. So seems to be quite confident.
6
This
rounds.
will be a 7-0. Yeah. Like, not sure I can really back him on that one, but it's wishful thinking. Who knows? I don't think we've had a 7-0 this season. In fact, I know we haven't had a 7-0 this season. It wouldn't be unlike DevMarta to call a matchup 1-0 though, would it?
No, that's what we expect from him. That's why he's on the observer sticks tonight. Bit of a downgrade for good old DevMarta. Hopefully he learns his lesson and we'll see him again for the playoffs.
Oh, is he back for playoffs?
Well, you kind of expect it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
on the observer though, not casting.
Ah, okay. I was gonna say.
Jigsaw popping off early, actually, which is nice to see. A player with really good potential for the remainder of the season. Should get a second, never mind. Supremacist with a good swing. Another player with good potential. And I think that's just one thing both of these two teams sort of have together, is players that haven't had too much time in OCN, Guz, that this stage they've been able to rack up a lot of game time, play against the best teams, and slowly grow as players for the year.
100%. Every loss is important. If you want to grow, you've just got to learn your lessons from those losses, I guess, and move forward. There are good signs, at least, on the side of Rhythm, that they've been improving. And I mean, even LFO, if they can finish this off with a win, it's not been an absolutely dreadful season. And there's a platform to build upon, especially, again, with a new player on the team. Meanwhile, in this round, it looks like the attack's trying to take Freezer. Smoke grenades being sent out, and a player at the bottom of the stairs, I believe that was Supremacist. Been a bit of the poster boy, I guess, for Rhythm. Quite confident in the interviews, and a lovely dude, I must say. Looking to find a couple of picks on the entry.
Lab and Supremacist pushing in now through Freezer. Bit of time remaining. Do have to pick up the pace, though. And this push forward now from Lab and Supremacist is going to be vital in this round being a success for Rhythm. Need to open this wall up a bit more. 30 seconds left in the round. Supremacist trying to catch someone from LFO, but they're not peeking, they're not biting. They're not giving anything over. They're happy to just sit back. Sushi catches gold. Wettables knowing that they have to push through into him. And that's probably the round, and Rhythm off to a pretty slow start here on Oregon.
Nova left in the 1 versus 3. Gets spotted out by Wettables, but the shot's missed. Hills, though, receives the call, swings wide, and finds the kill, evening the scoreline 1-1.
So I'm going to pose the question to you here, guys. Which roster looks better going forward into stage 2 as it is right now?
Sorry, what was the question? I genuinely was not listening. I'm sorry. I'm a terrible listener.
Which roster, like if you had to choose a roster going forward in stage 2 that you think will improve and do better, which one is it?
Of these two?
Of these two?
Oh, you're asking me to draw a bit of a line in the sand here. One of the teams that I don't mention is probably not going to be very happy. My gut instinct is Rhythm. That said, I loved Rhythm last year and always tried to back them in as the team that was going to improve, and they never really showed up. So they've broken my heart once. Maybe there's a chance they'll break it again. I don't know.
Yeah, that was just dreadful, guys. Come on, I need you to do better than that. Absolutely poor effort.
What do you mean? Well, who would you back? Who would you back? Who would you back? Who would you back?
I'd have to go Rhythm. I think I've seen more from Rhythm than I have from LFO.
Well, that's the same answer as me then, Xenox.
No, I'm not done yet. I think that LFO have struggled to be in their games more than Rhythm. Rhythm have been able to, even in their losses, get a few overtime losses, and they've had some overtime wins, of course. LFO are just usually not in their games at all, and it's usually quite one-sided. I need to see them at least finish strong here against Rhythm if I'm going to feel a bit better about them moving forward. I think they've got some good pieces, though. Wedables is showing good signs. Jigsaw as well is a really talented player. But I think as a team and as a core team, I like Rhythm a bit more.
LFO, though, with the lead currently in round number 3. Small tower take so far here from Rhythm, and Supremacist will try to establish control above. I assume they've got intel, or he's just sending it straight in. Either way, it's clear. And he can begin to work some vert. Ghoul, meanwhile, from outside can establish lines of sight in towards showers, where Wedable's holding that position. And that is a key part of this round. The Maestro inside of the showers. If he can hold on and find a couple of picks, that will help the defense immensely.
Still 8 drones available as well. I mean, we've got 2 minutes left in the round, so a lot of time, but good for Rhythm here, the way they're shaping up. Good info as well. It's a dining. Which site do you prefer, Guz, though? Dining or meeting for kitchen?
I prefer playing dining, but that's because no one knows how to hold. No one knows how to hold meeting, including me. That said, at least in matchmaking, not a lot of people know how to attack meeting, so it kind of balances out.
Ooh, one on the board here. Rhythm getting that OP pick. Supremacist, nice little grab onto Sushi as well. Wedables, that's not going to be the play. Much better from Rhythm. Start to finish in this round have just looked a little bit better than their first 2 opening rounds. A nasty in a nasty scenario. 1 versus 3.
Come on, you can do better than that.
He just watches the Rhythm player make the cross. He's going to get thrown down, and surely can't win from here. I mean, he almost got the double kill there, in fairness.
Oh, Jesus.
I seriously thought he got the team kill for a second. Supremacist, the way the Habana ducked. Like, watch this.
Yeah.
Kind of just vanishes.
Bit tight there. Oh, well, either way, Rhythm get their first attack win on the board. It's cool to see. Does always feel, again, I don't have the stats to back this up. This is just a gut feel, and I'm sure you probably have the stats on hand to reaffirm this or counter-argue. Doesn't feel like Dining has been incredibly successful in defense in OCN. Meeting does, gut instinct, feel more defender-sided? No?
Look, at this point, I just don't even know anymore. For OCN,
wow.
Defender, attacker side. If you want,
you're the play-by-play Xenox. You're meant to have all the stats and the game knowledge. I'm meant to bring the hype.
So if you want to know about Oregon, like which is more defender or attacker sided, we've had Oregon 7 times in OCN, so I think you can actually go off these stats a little bit. 45 attack around wins, 45 defensive wins, 50.0 attack defense.
Okay. Cool.
So I mean, realistically, Oregon has just become this map that is literally a map that comes down to kids' dorms.
You could say it's balanced like all things should be.
Yeah. You win Kid
Perfectly
Storm,
balanced.
you usually win the map. I've been saying this for a long time, and I've been right for a long time.
Yeah, look, I'll give you that dub. There's not many things about this game that you know well, so gotta give you something.
Jeez.
Charitable donation to the Bank of Xenox.
I know how to comm well. I've got some good comms.
Normally you turn your mic off when we play ranked. I don't know what you're on
I
about.
haven't once.
Yeah, look. Don't talk about our ranked endeavors, because that'll probably put the viewers to sleep. Not much happening in this round so far. The attack establishing some presence on the master bulk. Supremacist, who's getting lit up, but he retaliates there onto Jigsaw. Shuts down the Malusi and gets the opener for Rhythm.
Just wonder if Jigsaw's maybe getting a little bit over zealous in the last couple of rounds. Started off like 4-0, I'm pretty sure. Now it's like 4-3. It's going maybe a bit too ham, especially early on in this round for what is usually a pretty slow start to the round for Kid Storms. Pretty stock standard to see games wall opened up, and then you've got the push through attic. It just takes time for the attacking team to get everything open, so there's not much really room for the defense. Hills is making a big rotation from small tower back over to through kitchen.
Good drone there from Supremacist. Spots a lot of intel in towards site that can be called out to the team. Plenty of utility though still to deal with. ADS is getting pinged out, Banshees as well, and you can hear the bullets making contact with that default deployable shield position, or it may well be a Vulcan shield at that, with Wedables on the board.
The big thing is they've got that hole open as well into pit, so they don't even have to be mindful of that. So this is really looking good for Rhythm as they're sort of clearing through all this utility. They already have the 5-on-4 advantage. They get a lot of damage on the Sushi. This is a good clean round attack for Rhythm, and I'd be kind of surprised if they somehow lose from here. You can see the 3 remaining players for LFO all just pushed onto the sides. Wedables at the back of Kids, the other 2 in dorms. 35 seconds left. It should be a stock standard win for Rhythm here.
Cross established. 30 seconds on the board. Wedables forced to move. Shut down from Attic. It's Nasty and Hills left in the post plant. 45 seconds to contend with. Supremacist has been down. One more pick here and it's on. But the shot doesn't land. It's Hills now left to clutch up in the 1 versus 3. I don't think he has it.
I mean, he kind of can. It's probably unlikely. But if you look at the oh, well, never mind. He loses out to Supremacist there, right? That's just a nice big headshot.
Never happening, mate. Never happening.
What I was trying to sort of allude to, what is that?
That was a nice angle.
That was nice. What I was trying to allude to is the fact that the 3 Rhythm players really weren't close enough to really play off each other. Like, let's say Supremacist dies there. No one's trading that, right? So it could have been possible. Unlikely. And as you could see, it didn't happen. 2-2, all tied up here in Oregon. And we will head back to Kid Storms.
It would be funny if Kid Storm actually is the most important side in this matchup. That means nothing. The meme would do a full circle.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs.
I just really hope, this is like a quick shout out to all the teams that are watching in the chat right now. Please just don't play Oregon in playoffs. I'm just absolutely sick of it. I don't care how good you are at it. Just... Can we make it a rule actually for the play? I'm gonna have a word to the admins. We might make it a rule in the playoffs. You have to insta-ban out Oregon or Clubhouse just at the start of the veto. Just don't get it.
I like those maps.
Don't get a
so I'm happy if they get through. There's some yeah, I like all the maps except one.
Which one's that?
I'll give you one guess of the map that I'm not a big fan of.
Okay.
5 seconds.
Alright.
I know it's
know
not
the map pool?
Chalet. Yeah, do I know the map pool? Jeez. I don't know. It's a map that you don't know very well, so I'm going to say Villa.
Hey, that's the one.
Hey, there we go.
I like the rest. It's
can't
just
believe I
not my
actually got
map.
that right.
You know, everyone's got like something that they're not a big fan of. You don't like Oregon. I don't like Villa.
I actually don't mind.
For
Oregon.
different reasons.
I'm just sick of seeing it so often. Ah, well. But to be honest, we have seen a couple of teams innovate on this map this stage, and in the playoffs, I'm sure we'll see some innovation. At least in this matchup, though, everything feeling a little bit stock standard. Common phrase, the go-to R6 caster phrase, stock standard.
But I think in a way, right, and not to just make this all about trying to make it sound good, but the best teams will do the stock standard better. And that
Yeah, for sure.
can actually separate the best from the worst teams. And that's why I kind of like Oregon and Clubhouse in a way. The structured play, who's better at being methodical, and it really can set the difference. Like, you can go to Consulate and you can have Rufflecopter play in strange ways, and sure, it'll get them the win, but does that mean that they're better than Order? Not sure. And I think if you were to come to Oregon, Order would have won. So it's an interesting prospect, but that's why these maps exist, and they all serve different functions. Minute and a half remaining. Whoever wins this round will at least guarantee 3 in the half, which is usually pretty good, especially on a map like Oregon. 3 is usually par for the course for both teams.
Hills going for a swing here onto Supremacist. Who wins out? It's Hills on that occasion. Now, if I remember correctly, not long ago, was it yesterday, maybe last week, Hills actually had a game where he dropped a donut. So he's recovering well here in the final Playday, 4-3 thus far. It's going to be tough here for Rhythm. They've got a nice line of sight that was established early inside of games, but they've met a bit of a roadblock. They can't get an entry in towards Pit because it's electrified, and they're put under the pressure from Hills. This is going to be tough.
See, the difference right now, and it's got nothing to do with the fact they're on a 4 versus 5 disadvantage Rhythm, but it's the fact that they haven't cleared utility, opened up this pit wall as much, as quickly. They have now, but there's 30 seconds left, right? And the last round, they had it open in like a minute and a half. Nice C4 from Jigsaw onto Drax, and compounding this round even further. This is going the way of LFO. They've just played this a bit better, LFO. Oh, Jigsaw, sharp shot onto Nova. Vaix, Nova, whatever he wants to be called. Not actually sure. Had someone asked him?
Definitely
like...
no Vaix. Whoa, 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 Leb!
Hello, Leb!
Don't know where that came from, but leaves it in a 2-on-1. Jigsaw needs to finish off this round strong to give his team a chance, but Leb, he's looking red hot. He doesn't hit the flick though. Jigsaw can send it deep. Ghoul needs to stick the plant. Can he get off in time? The answer is no, and Jigsaw will take the round.
Yeah.
What was that from Leb? He just walks up white
nuts.
stairs, shoots 3 people in the back of the head, or 4 people in the back of the head, whatever it was. Insane. Sure, we'll get a replay of it, because I was hardly watching at the start. Was not expecting that.
I thought the round was over.
Oh, yeah. I mean, why wouldn't we think that? It's just crazy.
So this was Jigsaw, and then Leb walks up white stairs.
What is Hills doing?
Back and then back, or the side of the head on the last one. Yeah, but Jigsaw was always going to be able to stop that diffuser as soon as he got the kill onto Leb. He made it almost harder for himself by going back and forth there for a second outside kids, but eventually pushed his way in. And LFO will take a 3-2 lead going into the final round of the half for what is our final game of the day and final game of the season. Of course, a quick reminder for those who have maybe only just tuned in or not sure of the circumstances. Both teams cannot make playoffs. In fact, there's essentially nothing riding on this game. It's probably bad of me to say that, but I'd rather be honest. Both these two teams just playing for a bit of pride. Of course, Rhythm looking for their first regulation win of the season. So from internal perspectives, there's a bit to play for, but obviously for the season as a whole, it's a bit of a dead rubber. So we're having fun.
I think the one thing that could come out of this matchup is you learning the map. Maybe that's what we should focus on.
I've not only played, but also casted and watched enough Oregon that I know it off the back of my head.
We should play a game. We should get Dev to just fly to a random room and you have to call out what it is. Dev, can you do that? Can you just fly to a random room? Alright, what's this called? What's it called? Yes, Armory. Nice. Well done. Well done.
I don't know if that's a joke from the time I almost called it Arsenal, but yeah, whatever.
What's this one? What's this one?
Oh, jeez, I don't know. It's a bit difficult. Is it drawings? Bunk room? Kids?
Yeah, there you go. Nice.
Yeah, anyway, let's enough flying around. Let's actually, it's security. Yes, I know the map. Jeez. God.
Weddable's got to kill it all that. Would you believe it?
Yeah. Oh, did we see it? No.
Yeah, bad observing.
Well, he's just doing what he's told. Oh, that's nice from Hills, though. Not sure if that was intended or not. He's forced out of kitchen, though. LFO looking sharp here. Final game of the season. A little too late, but sharp nonetheless.
What is this all about? Hills and Jigsaw. Just enjoying each other's company. Oh,
Oh,
cool.
they've been drawn out.
Wait. We gotta see this from Ghoul's perspective. Oh, he did
He
see them.
hasn't seen them. He hasn't seen them. Oh, no.
Oh, the shame is there's no attacker on this side of the map, so we're not going to see anyone get caught off guard by this. So that is a little bit.
Yeah.
He gets the drone. Good to see that the teams are having as much fun as we are.
Yeah. So 1:10 left in the round. 5-on-3 advantage, or never mind, make that a 5-on-2 advantage. Still +2 in favor of LFO. Probably makes it even easier for them now, to be honest. Skull and Leb, the last two alive. Skull got to push in through laundry, but he gets his head ripped right off by Nasty. And it looks as if it is going to be a 4-2 half for LFO here on Oregon. Unless Leb can, well, somehow find the 3 kills, just as he did before on Kids Storms. But this time they're going to be looking at him rather than having the back of their heads towards him. Jigsaw comes down laundry stairs, gets the frag, and that is going to be a 4-2 half to LFO.
Welcome back from the break, folks. 4-2 the scoreline, of course, in favor of LFO. It's the 4th and final game of Playday number 7. This match marking the end of the regular season for OCN 2021, Stage 1. I stumble over my words. It's been a busy week or two. A lot of siege going on here and there, but obviously a lot of fun. And unfortunately, this matchup doesn't necessarily mean a whole lot in terms of the context of the stage, but both these teams looking to build upon their foundations and lead themselves into a bigger and brighter stage number 2.
It's good to see LFO playing like this. I mean, you do have to wonder if Rhythm were in a position where they needed the 3 points to get into playoffs in this other world where, say, Rufflecopter didn't somehow beat Order 7-2. Would this be the scoreline? Would they have had that extra inch of motivation? I don't have the answer for that, guys, but I do pose the thought. And, you know, maybe they would have the answer for that. Maybe they would say, yeah, maybe they would have played a little bit better. But in a way, I would also be slightly disappointed if that were the case, because you still just want to play for the respect of it. But you're only human after all, and obviously would be a bit upset the fact that they can't make playoffs off the prior results tonight. So, look, there's a lot of if, ands, and buts. There's a lot of sure maybes. But what we do know is LFO are playing pretty well here on Oregon, deserve their lead, and we'll see if they can close it out in their attacking half.
Jigsaw in the entry here, looking for a pick, maybe inside of Kitchen. I think it's Leb playing that position, judged off the outline. Sees the shoulder, but doesn't quite connect the shot. Jigsaw's made sharp, but he doesn't have inhuman reaction times, and Leb can now scatter away inside of security, looking to hold the fort on this roam.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Nice little swing from security for Leb. Catches Hills, goes back down the security hatch to safety. Jigsaw's going to go for a little peek down into Freezer. Does catch the knees of Supremacist. Vantage Rhythm for the time being. But I don't count out Jigsaw. 10, 2, and 3. Fragging out right now on the Sophia.
Bomb located by
Almost
attackers.
expect him to find a kill or two down here pushing into Freezer. Like, it's bound to happen.
See what he can do. Wary of someone maybe tucked inside of Laundry as he prepares to swing to his left and maybe find a pick. Novakes sitting and waiting, but gets droned out. Can Jigsaw act upon the intel? He sees the shoulder for a brief second, but unable to find the pick.
30 seconds left of the round. That's go time now. Jigsaw does find that pick. 2 in the round. 3 versus 3. Nasty also is going to catch someone too from Laundry. So suddenly your advantage at LFO rather than Rhythm in the blink of an eye. Well, that's a big C4 to the face. Doesn't quite eliminate Nasty. That's going to allow Swing. Never mind. Jigsaw loses out. Wettables now in a 1 versus 2. Well, actually, it's a 1 versus 1, I should say.
Seconds to go.
And he's going to catch Ghoul. Oh, never mind. Just shoots into the box and now catches. Oh, he didn't actually get the down. I think he thought he did. I think he thought he got the down. Am I wrong, Guz?
What I don't understand is why is the player inside of Freezer not turning around? You had a down teammate that could have called he was entering from the door behind you. What is going on there? Did he did he walk away once he got down? He could have literally just called out to his teammate behind you.
I got to see this replay again as we go back through the round. But
That was just no, that's just not right.
I'm pretty sure he had enough bullets left in that gun, right? I mean,
I'm not even mad at Wettables here for thinking he got the kill. Why is Ghoul not getting? Oh, because it No,
That's what I'm saying.
no, I'm stupid. It was the attacker that was down, not the defender. Okay, I'm getting mad at the wrong thing. Okay, good. This has been a long week. I am going insane. The problem, yeah, okay.
Protect your bombs from
So the problem there was that the down player probably should have crawled over towards Freezer and actually been calling where the defender was, not the vice versa, what I think was going on there. So I was kind of
You're
right,
right,
but
mate.
kind of wrong. Just ignore what I'm saying because I don't know what I'm banging on about.
Do you think
but,
I was right though? Do you think he actually thought he got the down?
Yes, well, yeah, Wettables just having a bit of a brain fart and whiffing those shots. Bit unfortunate, but yeah, this has been some interesting siege.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure the last game we just had before, we had some interesting siege. And in fact, it's been an interesting season. OCN has just been a blast in a can. It's been really difficult to predict.
to locate a bomb and defuse.
I wouldn't be surprised if the winner for Snowball is -1 or something crazy like that. I mean, coming into tonight, Raven was leading with Ducky and Sky, and they were at 50% strike rate. That's pretty poor for the first placed tipster. It's just been a really difficult season to predict, and when you see plays like this and games like this and games like the Order Roffercopter 1, I think you can see why it's so difficult to predict.
I still can't believe I called that wrong.
Okay.
Oh, well.
And mistakes happen, man.
One major,
It's okay.
well, it's probably my only blunder for the season, and it's in the last match, so it's okay.
Yeah.
You got to make one before playoffs, so we've gotten it out of the way. That's the important thing.
I think you could just blame the Observer. That's the easy way.
Yeah, true. Well, Jigsaw looking to find a pick. Supremacist is waiting at the top of Freezer stairs, but he's getting shut down on the cross, getting pressured, but does fall back. Doesn't take any damage.
I have a feeling this game's going to go like 8-7 OT.
Don't curse it.
It's got the makings of it. It really does. Might not be the most sublime siege, but it's entertaining and it's.
Wait. Oh god, I thought
wait,
that was a player. I did not know that was a Gemini.
I feel like that needs to be made a little bit more obvious when it's a Gemini.
Yeah, probably. Oh well. Decent control here from Jigsaw. He's holding the top of White stairs, and he hits yet another flick. The man just is not missing at the moment. Only a little bit of HP left though. So surely Supremacist can swing and find the pick. He does there. And Jigsaw is finally shut down leaves it in a 3 versus 3, and it's difficult to call which one this will sway.
Gemini goes in again, just in case you're a little bit confused there, Guz.
Thank you.
Although in 30 seconds, you have to go in for real Z's this time. Nasty, no fake. No fake ones this time. Nice pick onto Hills there. Supremacist low.
Bomb diffuser has been dropped.
She goes down. Nasty trying to find something, but now he's the solo player. Nice headshot onto Supremacist. Really just gave him that one, but Drax with a good angle towards double window, and Rhythm win the round.
Easy as you'd like there for Drax. He just laid down still and watched the vault for the last 30 seconds or so of that round, and got a few picks, which is nice. Probably the easiest couple of picks he'll probably find in a comp game, so he can't complain too much. That does even out the scoreline though, and yeah, it is threatening the OT, the OCN OT. What a way to end out the season if that were to be the case. It would
It'd be
honestly
fitting.
just, yeah, it would be. It would be a reflection of just how crazy this and how close as well. this
If
season really has
only,
been.
if only Rhythm needed 3 points to get into playoffs, wouldn't this just be
Oh.
so much more fascinating? Tantalizing prospect. It just didn't play out that way, but still, good little fight back here from Rhythm, especially when, you know, their season's done, right? LFO's as well. You go down 4-2, things aren't looking too great. LFO hitting the shots. Jigsaw is just going nuclear. And it's pretty easy to then maybe just pack the bags in a bit, right? Nothing's going to change for them in terms of the standings and the money distribution. Literally nothing. But yet they're fighting back, making this interesting as a collective team, and just trying to build maybe good habits for stage 2.
Discovered the location of a bomb. 10 seconds remaining.
Just having a quick look at our power rankings that we all created during the preseason. And in fact, none of us actually put LFO in last,
Attackers
which
objective
is
to defuse a
pretty
bomb.
interesting. And I guess reflects maybe just how unexpected this downfall has been for LFO, a team that was on the up, really threatening the upper echelon of the region for a brief period, and it's sort of slipped away a little bit. Again, though, with the new yearly relegations as Hills misses the vault.
Do you want to mention to everyone where we all had Bliss? Or not? Keep that one a secret.
Shh. We all had Bliss. I think we all had him, like, what, first or second, right?
Second? Yeah.
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 But as I was going to say, with the new yearly relegations, it's important that LFO don't get too down in the dumps after a disappointing stage 1. They have a great opportunity for that redemption arc in stages 2 and 3 to bounce back. It's not like seasons of old where we'd now be in a position where both of these teams would be in relegation straight away. They'd have that opportunity and that security that they can bounce back later in the year.
Looking back on it, though, we actually did pretty well for the predictions. Everyone got 4 out of 5 teams for playoffs. We all got one wrong. So,
Not bad.
not bad. And that was done pretty early on. I think that was done pretty early on. So, I'm happy with that. Pat on the back. Well done, Xenox. Let's move forward, though, here for the 9th round to see who can take a 5-4 lead here on Oregon. LFO pushing in through small tower, opening up this dining wall. And Nevaix is getting a bit antsy. That's going to be a Gemini, but that's going to be a player. Sushi down. Diffuser sitting on his body.
Oh,
An aid to finish him off,
Pokeball.
and will be successful. Captures a Sushi.
not sure what evolution that was, but meanwhile, Jigsaw's inside of the showers as Hills finds the first for LFO. Nevaix is in an aggressive position still, though. He hasn't been flushed out here by the attack. He has the diffuser in his sights. He swings and sees one. Waits patiently to swing back and does down Wedables in the end. It's a double for this round. He's threatening for a third, and Rhythm, they're looking good here.
Round's not over yet. Whenever Jigsaw's still alive, things can happen for LFO. He's there. Frag. Nice little Kobe from Nasty there off the backboard. Catches Nevaix. Ties us up at 3 versus 3 in terms of players alive. Jigsaw's low health, but can still make something happen. Give him an inch and he'll take a mile. 20 seconds left, and it's though up to LFO to make something happen. Hills with the diffuser. Jigsaw, unfortunately, that low health comes back to bite him. Hills losing all of his partners and now loses his own life. 5-4 advantage to Rhythm.
Good work there from Rhythm. Cheeky couple picks at the beginning of the round, and they were able to capitalize, and now they're threatening at least the addition of 1 point at the conclusion of this matchup, as they are now on the Magic 5. Back down to Laundry for the defense. Seen a bit of action downstairs, a lot of confusing action at that, or at least for a bot like me to follow, especially late round. A lot of late trades, a lot of aggressive swings, and neither of these teams really afraid to go for a cheeky peek.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
So far, though, the way this match has played out is probably as I expected in terms of the individual players that are standing out. Like Jigsaw and Wettables has been, again, key highlights for LFO. Really can't wait to see what those two can do for stage 2. And on the side of Rhythm, again, you know, players like Supremacist really standing up and making a name for themselves. 8-4 and 7. It's not the best scoreline ever, Guz, but leading fragger on the side of Rhythm. As a collective team, though, I think Rhythm, as a core 5, have been a little bit more solid than LFO, who are very much relying on Jigsaw and Wettables. You know, they've gotten 20 frags between the two of them. But then the other 3 have only got 13. So it's quite top heavy for LFO, whereas Rhythm a bit more spread out with their frags and assists. 5-4 lead to Rhythm on the verge of match point. I think they can also then feel good about themselves as they can finish this off, get the 3 points against LFO and say to themselves, well, we did what we could do. Unfortunately, the other results didn't go our way, but we held up our end of the bargain in terms of getting the 3 points, which they would have been required to do. Sushi just lets that angle go. Knows they're pushing through Freezer, catches the head of Leb. Oh, the swing.
Said they weren't afraid to overpeak, and now Sushi is in a very awkward position. Foot gets spotted, swings around, and it ends up being the head that's taken off. Jigsaw holding down the line as he tries to find one back and even out the main count. Hills inside of Blue, meanwhile, he's trying to get a push going in towards Elbow. Decides to back off now towards Pillar, and as we switch, unfortunately, Jigsaw does end up finding a pick. So a bit unfortunate there, but Hills does eventually find one as well. And my word, these players on the defense do not want to sit still. It's Ghoul stuck inside of Freezer. His position known to the attack, but can LFO shut him down? They will, and they'll take the round.
A bit surprised he actually wasn't scoped in there running towards Pillar and was just sort of gung-ho hip fire. I think if he scopes in there, he probably gets that kill, and then there's a chance, because it really then becomes a 1v1 due to the player on the ground. 5-5 though, all tied up as we continue to head towards a likely overtime scenario. Wouldn't that be almost fitting though for Rhythm to go to OT one more time to close out the season? Of course, they haven't had a regulation win, and they're on the verge of not being able to get that. They would be the only team for the entire OCN Stage 1 to not get a regulation win.
But they also wouldn't finish last. Which is pretty wild to think about.
Yeah, that's also kind of crazy. There's the difference, though, I guess, between the new system and the old system in terms of the scoring. I actually wouldn't mind. I'm sure Dev's probably nerdy enough to utilize the old scoring system and see where everyone would have finished and compare it to this system. I think that would be kind of cool. Yeah, don't you think, Dev?
That's a good tweet idea. I might steal that and chase some clout after the broadcast.
Go for it.
I reckon I could get at least 25 exposures for a tweet like that. You reckon?
I think you could.
Wow, Dev. I mean, we can't say what he just told us in the chat on broadcast because that would be inappropriate.
Well, you can. He said, "Do it yourself."
Yeah, we can't say the rest of it, but yeah, the TLDR. I guess Dev just doesn't want those exposures. I mean, that's his loss. On a serious note, though, it would actually be intriguing to see what the standings would have shaped up like in the old scoring system. I personally am a big fan of this new system. It keeps the standings really, really important and stresses the importance of overtime and doesn't disadvantage a team that might get attack on a defender side at OT, for example. And I think the league has benefited from that.
I think Rhythm would say they haven't though, because if overtime wins had given them all 3 points, they'd be in playoffs, right? That's just the nature of it. So it is what it is, though. It is what it is. Actually, I'm not entirely sure if that is the case. We'll, of course, get Dev to chase that one up.
Thanks,
At
Dev.
some point. Thanks, Dev. And now if he doesn't do it, and everyone's disappointed, you just blame Dev.
I just won't play ranked with him. In fact, Dev cursed this game. Do you remember? No, it would have been 10 rounds ago. He said, you add everyone, you want to play ranked in 6 rounds? Well, I don't think we're playing ranked yet, Dev. Yeah,
I just love to go early at 1-0. Leb gets the opening frag of the round. Pretty important round. Whoever wins this at least secures 1 point. They guarantee themselves match point, and
Jigsaw's just everywhere. It feels like whenever we are watching Jigsaw, he is getting a kill or is very close to getting a kill. No matter when you spectate the man, he is just in on the action.
He has been immense. Would probably be in the running for MVP, although I still couldn't go past God Legion's performance from earlier in a very dominant victory. This is the thing as well, because it's gone to 11 rounds, he's able to stack up those kills a bit more. I think God Legion got 14 in like 9 rounds overall.
Spectate Jigsaw, spectate Jigsaw. Yeah.
And it's deja vu. The last time we saw Jigsaw sort of pushing down Freezer, I said you expect him to get at least 1. Will he be able to do it again?
Oh,
yes, he will.
Oh, no Vakes. Caught off guard. Drex inside of Freezer, not in a position to refrag that out as he was playing quite deep. He does hold the line, though, expecting a secondary push, and that push should come through soon. It's a 3 versus 3, 30 seconds on the board as the smokes begin to fly out.
Supremacist is low though on the Wamai. He's vulnerable. LFO are in pretty good shape. Not for much longer though. Wettables is taking it out and there's no Jigsaw alive. So you sense that LFO's attacking prowess is down to naught. And especially with Nasty with that slow crouch swing, and Ghoul's just going to shut that one really quickly down and gets the last one onto Sushi as well. Match point Rhythm as they look to get their first regulation win. Pretty simple. Win the next round, you get all 3 points, you're on the board for the season in the final game of the season.
Come on, Rhythm. You can do it. Let's go.
Feel the rhythm.
Hashtag feel the rhythm. And I also don't want Xenox to be right, because if they lose, we go to OT. There's no better feeling than Xenox being wrong. Say that much. Oh, it's Kids Dorms. Haha, yes.
Hey, very important site.
Oh, it always is.
Very, very important site. It's one of those ones, sometimes you feel like you're happy that you're on the defense, sometimes you actually feel like you're happy on the attack. Comes down to so many different factors. Depends on, there's so many different ways that you can push the site as well. You've got double window, you've got games, you've got attic. You can put pressure vertically down below, take control of kitchen. So I don't know why you're complaining about Oregon, really, guys. It's just really the pinnacle of CG sports.
Oh, if you say so. I'll take your word for it.
It's alright.
So he gets brought to the table in this round. Aruni being used by a Leb. What impact that will have? I guess it does, of course, complement the Jaeger. Prevents some of those projectiles from being thrown through the doorways and common windows, and that helps to protect quite a bit of this utility. You have the Banshees that need protection, Vulcan shields as well. It is quite a bit of utility.
A lot of people thought Aruni was there to sort of be like a castle replacement. In the end, has now just been a Jaeger complement.
Every time we watch Jigsaw, it just feels like he's teetering on the edge of a pick. I was waiting for someone from Rhythm to round that shield to just get their head blown off, but doesn't happen. Sushi entry droning here, calls that it's clear, and that shield now basically made redundant. It's not going to have any impact in this round, and maybe that could have been used better elsewhere.
Match point Rhythm. Nasty can actually use the Gemini to, well, not with the mute jammer there. I was going to say could get rid of the Sawyer gate. Just take out the Vulcan shield for the time being. Not much has really happened so far. Weddable's going to get to work on that attic wall over in Big Tower. Still a minute and a half remaining as the Selma charges will open up Games Wall, and well, now they're just starting to get to work and sort of make their way towards Kidstorm.
Minute 20 left on the round. Entry has been created inside of Addict, and Wedables and Nasty might tag team that position and try and clear out Pit. Flashes have been used to clear any ADS devices. That's followed up with a big grenade in towards Pit. Gets thrown out. Doesn't really have an impact, but this could have an impact. It's Leb on the flank.
Literally, we'll just walk past that drone, ignore it, hope that no one's watching. Oh, he's dead. Cool. 5 versus 4. LFO get a bit of a reprieve. Never mind. Jigsaw going down early in the round. That's going to make things a lot more difficult for LFO. Their star fragger is out. Caught early. 35 seconds left in the round or so. Nasty takes a big chunk of damage as well. Ghoul's low too. Nasty looking into kids from the static position. Drex with a beautiful angle. I think Rhythm have got this one sewn up, Guz.
20 seconds left on the board. Cross is established. Wedables, though, he needs to go big up white. He does find one. That could be the entry.
15 seconds to go.
3 versus 2. Rhythm still with an advantage because Nevax found Sushi elsewhere on the map. Wedables and knew exactly where he was going to be pushing from as well. Hill's now left up to a 1 versus 2. Peeks into Pit, loses that little duel. He's going to swing back around, but meets the shotgun of Ghoul. And Rhythm, for the first time this season of OCN, will pick up a regulation time win. They get all 3 points. Unfortunately, though, they do not make the playoffs. They will fall into the bottom 3. And, well, that's it. There's just nothing else to say, right? It's a little bit sad.
Well, they do defeat their demons and do get that first regulation win on the board for the stage. The first and only as the stage is now concluded. But a nice little objective complete there for Rhythm, and they have a nice, building block, I guess, for the rest of the year. It's not all doom and gloom for them. LFO, on the other hand, though, things are looking a little bit rough, but I'm sure during the off-season they can recover.
A little bit grim, a little bit rough. Unfortunately for LFO, they do lose yet another game, only picking up 1 win for the entirety of the season. The rest of them all losses. So 1 win, 6 losses for LFO. Nothing in overtime. They're the only team that didn't actually go to overtime at all season long was LFO Guz. So there's another neat little fact there. Big win for Rhythm. Obviously, had Order been able to do their job and defeat Ruffle, then they would have actually gone on and made playoffs. That didn't happen, of course. For those who missed it earlier, we convincingly saw Rufflecopter deal with Order. But look, started off pretty shaky for Rhythm. They got themselves back into it pretty quickly. It was going back and forth. Thought maybe overtime was going to be brewing. Didn't end up happening. Rhythm too good in the end.
Yeah, a couple of nice plays here and there. That one from Leb was probably one of the highlights for Rhythm. Jigsaw as well was stepping up massively. It was a shame to see LFO fall short despite Jig having such a big impact. He was fragging out in so many rounds, and I'm sure if LFO can capitalize upon that better in stage number 2, they'll have a really good time. Having such a strong entry like that is really favorable. They just need to tidy up in the late round and actually convert those advantages that are being handed to them.
I think I'm going to say it. Jigsaw, does he somehow move on to another team if he's going to stand out like this?
Are you allowed to say it?
Probably, I don't know. I did.
Big calls,
Look,
big calls.
If you're going to continue to stand out the way that Jigsaw has since coming into the LFO roster, there might just be some eye emojis towards him. Or, he could just stick with the team and see where they can grow. It's a long year, guys. It's a very, very long year. I'm not saying in the short term. I'm saying maybe in the long term, it could be even a 2022 thing. Regardless, though, moving on from that, big ups to Rhythm. and a very team effort. You know, you look at their KDAs, 11, 9, 9, 8, 8. I mean, that's just really as close as you're going to want. I do love to see Supremacist at the top there. I've got my eyes on him this season as a standout player that I think will continue to grow with this Rhythm roster.
Yeah, Jigsaw seems like an awesome dude. I don't know if we're interviewing him later, but yeah, really strong foundation for that team.
Jigsaw?
And Supremacist. I meant Supremacist. If that's not what I said. You know why I said that? If I did say Jigsaw in my head, it was because I had him in my head. I look at Jigsaw's entry. He's -1. Like what?
Really?
I don't know how that happened. Yeah, I thought Jigsaw was absolutely popping off on the entries. Maybe it was more so his mid-round play. Probably a testament to how much attention I was paying in that map. But yeah, not too much else to say about that one.
I think it's so much time we send you back over to the Observers. I'll tell you that much, guys. Let's go and have a chat, though, with someone who I'm sure is a happy chap after their first regulation win. It's Supremacist. Congratulations, but also, in a way, commiserations not making playoffs just simply based off the fact Order decided not to show up tonight.
Yeah, look, it is what it is. Like, I can beat myself up over it like all night. It's really unfortunate because we really relied on that, but we just know as a team that we need to be better next season in order to not leave it up to an Order versus Ruffle game. We just need to start taking wins properly, man. That's all it really comes down to.
Yeah, I guess that will probably lead nicely into my first question. You're mentioning that you need to improve upon. Are there any specific areas that you've identified that need to be worked on, and what are you going to be doing over the break to try and improve on those areas?
So obviously, like, you know, scrims are going to be like obviously bumped up to whatever maximum that we can get them to be at so that we can practice these things properly. And the things that we are looking to practice is just going to be like closing these games out when we do have a lead, like games like Wildcard and stuff like that, where we just need to, we got them like 5-5 or whatnot, and we just need to get those two rounds for the 3 points. Like, this ultimately does come down to, if we took like 2 3-point wins, we could even be you know still top 5 right now, and it would still be in the run to make it to top 5. So we just need to close these games out, and that's what we need to work on, man.
I love to hear the accountability there, that, you know, you guys are sort of looking at it from your own perspective rather than being like, ah, damn, why couldn't Order get the job done for us? It's good that you have that mindset. I think it says a lot about not only yourself, but as a team. From an individual standpoint, for yourself coming into OCN, how did you think you went this season?
Look, I think I think I did okay. Like, I could be so much, like, I want to do so much better, right? Like, I want to be such, I don't know, like, I have, like, my personal view, as every individual does, like, they want to be the best, right? And it's kind of like the view that I have on it, because I know that, like, we can do this. We're out here, we are grinding, and we just want to, like, as the team more than anything, I want, like, I don't mind my individual performance too much. Like the Elevate game, I played pretty bad, but we got the win. And that's, to me, that's all that matters. So as long as I'm doing my job, and I'm getting the correct things done when I need to be doing, like creating space and whatnot, then that's all that matters to me, man, to be completely honest. But yeah, I think I did pretty all right this season.
That leads in then, I guess, to the stage 2 discussion. What's the goal for Rhythm going forward? Of course, the matchup tonight didn't necessarily impact the points directly, but the points do accumulate throughout each stage to accumulate towards the ladder for relegations, etc., promotions. So what's the goal for Rhythm in stage 2? What are you aiming for?
Obviously, it's not to be relegated, right? Like, that's like the main goal, is to not be relegated again. But I think, like, the idea is, like, we're sitting comfortably within, like, a part of the game where, like, it's not too bad at the moment. But if we let it kind of, like, seep down to that level where we begin to lose more, and, like we begin to just fall down with these points, we just want to sit comfortably, whether it's in the top 5 or just even higher than that, man. Like, that's the overall goal.
Before I let you go, mate, any final shout-outs to close off your season?
I just want to say thank you to everybody who, like, you know, supports us in the chat and whatnot, and, like, even just playing is just a thrill, man. It's really good. And just to thank, yeah, everybody again, man. I really do appreciate just people coming out and watching these games and being here for us, dude. Pog.
Thank you so much for coming on, having a chat, mate. You're a really good person to interview. I liked what I saw from you from a personal level, as well as your team this season. So you guys should be very happy with how you guys played out. Best of luck in stage 2, and hopefully next time you can make playoffs.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. You guys have a great night, man.
Such a wonderful talent, such a wonderful guy as well. Good little interviewee as well. I can't help but get infectious off of Supremacist. His attitude is great, and it's a good attitude to have as well for Rhythm. They really could have been down and out, and you know, and rightfully so. You missed out on playoffs by the barest of margins based off other results, but the damage was done early on in the season. It's weird to say it, but the fact that it went to OT so many times, you know, a quick little look for Rhythm. They only had 2 regulation losses, 1 OT loss, 3 OT wins, and 1 regular win. So they actually had a better, like they had a positive record, Gus. Like they went positive and missed playoffs.
Which is nuts. And this is so unfortunate for Rhythm as well, because the only real reason they found themselves in the relegation position last year was because of the overtime curse as well, where even Supremacist now is saying they just couldn't close out games. And in the end, it's come back to bite them once again. So despite still obtaining points on the board after not relegation losses, after overtime losses, it still comes back to bite them. So hopefully in stage 2, as Supremacist said, they can work on just closing out their games nice and strongly. And that could be a massive boost in the standings. Yeah. Even 1 or 2 wins here or there, they're a real shot at, you know, top 2, top 3.
Good little segue there, guys. That's the standings of the future. Let's go and have a look at the standings of the present, recap and see. So the results first before we go to the standings. Jeez, I just got ahead of myself there. Recapping the results tonight: 7-4, 7-2, 7-2, and then 5-7. The only real big surprise was the Rafflecopter result, if we're going to be totally honest. The rest of them played out kind of the way we expected.
100%. Yeah, in terms of predictions and whatnot, most of the games playing out as we would expect, except for that Ruffle order game. Bit of chaos ensuing over on Consulate, and Ruffle with the aggression not really matched. Quite a dominant win, and in fact equal dominant in terms of the season, equal with that Chiefs and Wildcard game.
And let's see what our favorite segment is, the Snowball Expert Panel predictions, and see where it has all laid to be. Are you kidding me? Raven has won solo.
Rigged.
What?
Rigged. He doesn't
Absolutely
count.
rigged. 15-13. Somehow though, guys, we've managed to tie out second place. I mean, we'll take second place.
We went even.
A lot of us went second place. Dev Marta, that Mr. Hollywood guy, somehow tied last with Ducky, which is only because Ducky has this weird obsession with LFO. Had he just gone Rhythm, he would have been with everyone else at 14-14. But obviously, in the end, it highlights how close this season of OCN was.
Yeah, I don't know if we're just terrible at predictions. I would love to know what the community predicted and what their score would have been like, because honestly, I feel like we use the analogy so many times that the matches could go either way. There could be a coin toss, etc., etc. But the stats at the end of the day literally back that up. Almost, well, I mean, more than half of the experts, quote unquote, going 50-50. Like, it's just a testament to how close it's been and how difficult it's been to separate some of these teams.
Manic Monday's face there in the top as well after Rafflecopter 7-2 order. He just looks like the genius. I'm sure there'll be some sort of tweet later if he's watching. Let's go and have a look at our MVP though for the night. Not too many surprises, surely. We do have to cast our mind back a little bit. It was God Legion's performance for the Chiefs. He went absolutely insane, guys. He was by far and away the best player tonight. And that was even with Jigsaw popping off at the end.
Yeah, no picture for God Legion, but that was just a representation of what the enemy saw tonight. They just never saw him. He was the Flash running around, finding picks, and no one really being able to shut him down. Couple of really, really nice plays. This potential clutch here was one of the highlights. He didn't get traded out, unfortunately. But yeah, God Legion. When he finds form, the Chiefs are just in such a good position.
Yeah, and God Legion making 2 massive plays at 2 pivotal moments as well. Not so much pivotal because it never really was close as a series, unfortunately, for wildcard's sake, but 2 big plays and went on and had a really, really good game. And it's good news for the Chiefs as a whole. You know, they're firing on all cylinders going into the playoffs, so they should be very happy with that performance as well from an individual standpoint. But as a team, they were immense. If anything, I probably would have preferred giving the MVP of the night just to the whole team, the way the Chiefs played. Let's go and have a look at the standings this time. I promise it is going to actually show up. The recap is here. Lock in the top 5. Knights in first place. After their slow start to OCN, they still are the best team in the region. Just below them, Chiefs. Then Team Bliss, the surprise story of the season. Rafflecopter, of course, jumping up into 4th order. Had an opportunity for the top spot, and yet now they're in 5th.
I think Order, for me, heading into the playoffs, has the potential to be an absolutely banging storyline. Envision a scenario where Order step up massively in the playoffs and just win game after game after game and manage to grind their way to the grand final. Just envision that. That would be absolutely incredible. I don't think a 5th place position is probably representative of how good that team is. And I mean, some people will call me out and say that that's not really a fair call, but it's a 2-point gap between 1st and 5th. So anywhere in between is the odd overtime win or overtime loss, right? It's a very, very marginal gap in terms of the standings. And I do think the potential is there for a bit of a Hail Mary run.
I mean, it's 4 points, right, between 1st and the team that didn't even make playoffs.
Yep.
So, again, this very much highlights, just like the predictions, how close this season was. Let's go and see and have a look at Order's gauntlet run. I feel like it is the Order gauntlet run, right? Because they are going to have to go the whole distance, either them or Roffelcopter. Yes, we do get that repeat that we saw from Consulate earlier this afternoon, where, of course, Roffelcopter tore Order to shreds. There's surely no way that we're going to be seeing Consulate. Surely, guys, unless Order were hiding something or didn't quite have that Specker 95% mental box in their hand.
Yeah, who knows? We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. I again, am very excited in the veto process to see just how deep these teams are. In fact, it was Boydie in the interview earlier tonight that, called out a few of the teams, claiming that maybe their map pools aren't that strong, and they've already shown the maps that they're good at in the regulation season, and they might only have 2 or 3 maps that they can lean into, and in that format that's simply not enough. When you think about it, right, you can have a map insta-banned against you, so that's 1 map. You're going to have to win your opponent's map pick, so that's like 2 maps, which means that you have to lean on your own, and then you need the decider. So you need a super deep map pool, and it only increases in importance, especially if you're one of the lower teams, right? Because you're going to be making that run through the gauntlet, and teams are going to see what you're playing earlier. And if you're having a really good map, bang, like that map's just gone, which means that you can't rely on it.
I feel like, though, and I think you were sort of alluding to this, but if any team's going to be able to run the gauntlet, it's Order, right? Like, if any team was in that position, you'd probably want it to be Order that would be capable of doing that. I think if it wasn't Order, you would say, okay, those 2 teams that we start with, neither of those are going to make it the distance. There's a world in which I can actually envision Order just running the whole gauntlet, and you see that like Kiss of Death meme or the Grim Reaper meme where he's like knocking on the door and you have the logos. I can already envision someone making that, and then Order versus Knights at the end. It's going to be so much fun on a different format. I think just spices things up, and I mean, for Order, they've got a good challenge in front of them. I'm sure they'll be happy to take that challenge on. Then there's also the other notion that there's APAC South still to be played as well, so that's going to maybe throw a spanner in the works in terms of preparation as well for the gauntlet.
Wow, yeah. Look, I don't envy the teams. They've had a lot of preparation to do. Again, more maps to prep, more potential opponents to be ready for, and the stakes are as high as ever. Again, the points incredibly important when it comes to the end of year. All of these teams, outside of those already inside the league, are vying for positions inside of the APAC League. Like, let's not understate just how important that is. This is a feeder league to a larger competition, and all these teams will be nipping at the heels to make it.
Well, that's going to be Playday 7 done. That's the regular season done here for OCN. Don't fret, though. Of course, the playoffs this weekend. There's not much time for teams to prepare. Maybe change a few things up, tweak a few little game plans going into the gauntlet. It's going to be a blast of fun, and we want you guys to come and enjoy the ride with us this weekend. The gauntlet to close out OCN Stage 1. We'll be there. The whole crew will be there. We hope to see you guys there.
I'm running out of time. I'm running out on a feeling so. I'm running out of time. To leave it all behind. Let me see the rainbow.